I really hope you didn't open this commercial around any children. Yo, what up everybody? It's your boy Garden Sound. I just dropped a new song today. It's the first song I've put out since 2021. Holy shit. Are you seeing these visuals? That's the best canvas on Spotify. Shitting dick nipples, Batman. Are you fucking seeing this thing? This release is a big deal for me. It's the first time I've put out legit dance music in probably, I don't know, 10 years, and I've got this awesome artist named ChurchGrim who's going to be helping me do all the visuals for it, and he's sick, and you should go support him, and I'll put a link to the fucking places where you can find him. I'm going to do everything. You're going to do it too. You're going to go fucking click, you're going to click the link, and you're going to go listen to this song, and you're going to like it. You're going to tell your friends about it. You're going to tell your mom about it. You're going to tell Marge Simpson about it. Go fucking tell everyone about it. I don't fucking care what you have to do today. You don't have plans anymore. Holy fucking tits. Are you seeing this thing? Go click it. Do it. Yep. Coming through?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. So I want to catch everybody up with what happened. I think I have to throw out the last tape, which kind of sucks. So last week when Sean and I got together to do some filming, we discovered that I had done the entire filming session with this display that you can currently see on the screen, which is like my main intro display where it says my webcam can't do 4K, and I'm just like my big fat head's here. So I filmed the entire session that way, so we basically are going to have to throw that out. So I think what we're going to do first, while we're like getting back into it here for the next hour, because we can't keep Sean for too long. He's gonna poop out here with the COVID. I think what we're gonna do is I'll go over some stuff that that you missed from our last taping session. And I think that'd be good to refresh everybody's memory too. Sean, would you be all right with just reviewing some things we did last time?
I'm cool with that.
All right, so we'll do a review session. That way we're not getting into too much like ridiculous like new stuff, and we'll progress the song a little bit. But that'll basically be all we do today. So we got a little recap. If this was an anime, this would be the recap episode. So let's just jump right in there. I'm gonna turn my screen to the correct setting, this one right here. All right, so last time Sean and I worked on this song, we basically gutted some stuff we didn't like. We redid some of the drums, and we started to work on dragging samples in. There was a whole problem with getting the sample browser, which apparently doesn't play through the same channels inside of my interface. To get that working so that Sean could hear the browser samples. And we started pulling stuff in, and we've made 2 sections basically. So the way I like to compose is I like to take my material and sort of divide it into different sections and then work on blending those sections together later, if possible, right? And oftentimes what'll happen if that's not possible is I will take some of the sections that don't fit and I'll save them as their own project files, and that'll start a new project. So my music, the way I write is very efficient, and the way I write is efficient because I'm very good at reusing material. And so that's what I'm trying to teach you here. The Control D is the most used key on my keyboard. Just duplicate that shit, make small changes, get a lot of mileage out of your compositional energy. The Bach school of composing. Not trying to be flashy here. We're just trying to get some good stuff out. So let's review and play what we had from last time. I'm going to start here with this first block, which is I'm not sure if we're going to have a name for it yet, but let's start it up here. I'm looking forward to seeing what these tinklies and rave bass echoes are. I can't remember what we did with those. It's been a minute since we've fucked around with it. Oh man, I like that second part a lot. What do you think?
I do too, actually.
I think I might...
A lot more ambient.
Yeah, I think I want us to focus on the second half for this session. We might come back to this first half at some other point, maybe not. But let's take what we've got here and just move it away, just to segregate the good from the bad. No, I'm just joking. So we can fuck around with this a little bit more on its own. Let's analyze and see what kind of stuff we're working with here. I remember this bass talking about bringing in a familiar synthesizer. But basically, all we've done, I believe, since our last recorded episode was we simplified the drums quite a bit. Made them just a bit more predictable, a little bit less swingy. We took the swing out, I remember that. The shuffle, just by turning it off. We added these drum loops, which are kind of neat. Yeah, and started getting into EQing a little bit. We added this thing down here. What we ought to do while we're going over this stuff is just take a second to make sure everything's labeled correctly. So this Schweck's drum loops, it's not very descriptive. Let's rename this glitches. And let's see what this guy is right here. That's the KJ Saka loop, but it's like really high passed. So HP KJ, high passed KJ. And then this is our ride cymbal, that's great. We just need to change it to all caps. All right. Our not drums, we've basically just added more to our not drums roster. We've deactivated quite a bit of stuff, which that's all in the old section, so we don't have to worry about that. Audio 2, that's in the old section. This is all old section stuff. What's this vital? I think this is the bass line. Let's make sure I'm not just...
It is, it's a bass synth.
Yeah. Right, and this is kind of a standard template that I use for making basses. I'm probably going to work on it and change it later. I call it my Reznor chug. It's like a Nine Inch Nails sort of inspired, Prophet VS sort of inspired bass line. So, Rave Bass Echoes. What the fuck is this? Oh, that's right. So we started working on this plugin, which is called the Freak Split, which is really cool. So Sean and I discovered this plugin when we were just messing around with some of the presets in Bitwig. I feel like this thing almost deserves its own, like, fucking video, just because of how like cool it is. So this thing is doing quite a bit of legwork on this patch. So if we turn this off, you can see here just how much work it was doing. It's actually a piano. But then you turn this on. Yeah. Yeah, that's really dope. I'm glad we came back to this. So is this Tinkley's thing doing the same? All right, so this is same concept but using a different preset on the Freak Split. What a cool plugin. Alright, I had to adjust the EQ a little bit there to bring in more of like the piano sound. Alright, so cool. So we've got this going on. I think everything looks nice and labeled now. I want to go ahead and take out the crash symbol because I don't think it fits this. You know, it kind of sounds awkward whenever it comes in.
It does. It's very abrasive.
Alright, so let's just delete it and we can maybe replace the crash symbol with something else later. But I'm going to delete the samples and we'll type in crash here, reminding ourselves we need to put one in later. Got any ideas for where we should take this next?
Play it again.
Sure.
almost needs to come out into an open, either an open piano or an open guitar. Something actually very melodically sound right here.
Okay. Do we need to
You
drop?
see what I'm saying by that?
Do we need to drop out the drums for a minute and just have it be like?
I believe so. You need to drop out the drums and the bass and just have something that's like, even if like try taking the pass off of this, like the freak split off the piano, see what it sounds like if you just let it play.
Okay, let's do. All right, so at that moment.
Yeah.
All right. Here's an idea. I like where your head's at. So, again, trying to keep our composition nice and tight. Let's duplicate the tinklies track. And again, to do that, we always do is Control D. That gives us an identical track with the same plugins and everything, same settings. All right. Now let's call this one piano plain, and we'll turn the tinklies off. Right. So this is just gonna be piano plain. Right. So now here we've got our tinkly piano.
Yep.
And then here we'll have our plain piano. Let's see what it sounds like. All right, I'm in. I support this. Let's at the very end.
It only needs to be a measure or two, then it all comes back in heavy again.
Or we can go a bit further with it.
Yeah, I mean we could. Yeah.
I mean, we could easily just loop this ad nauseum and just play it before a concert for sure. But like, let's I want this thing to keep echoing while this plays.
I agree with that. It needs some background noise.
It just needs to, the delay time, I think, or the feedback or something needs to come up and just amp it up for a bit. Excuse me. Let's see here. Modulation, delay time.
I don't know why that burp made me laugh.
Burps are fucking funny, man.
Gas is funny.
Alright, so we'll bring the mix up here. Let's also add, we'll bring the delay time up here too. So it'll just keep going for a second. All right.
Like that loop is doing right here.
Yeah. Let's add, that's the feedback. I want to add that in here too. So it's pretty high at this point. We'll amp it up to 100 and then we'll bring it down to 0 by the time it gets down to here. So let's do this loop one more time now that we can see these settings being changed. All right. I don't know if you notice what I'm doing here, but whenever I open an automation thing up and I adjust the automation, I can pick what I want to automate per plugin that's on the channel. Is that making sense to you? And whatever you...
I believe so.
Yeah, whatever you click, it'll add that as a lane, right? The automation lanes here that are beneath this. So this is the automation for the waterfall echoes, which is this plugin, the feedback knob, the mix knob, the delay time knob. And they follow these lines that are on the screen. And as you want to see what each of these is doing, you can click on this plus and it'll add its own lane. Does that make sense? Let me show you.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
I think I'm following.
So
I think I'm picking up what you're putting down.
it's got the waterfall echoes that I've starred. Like I've told it that these are important. Feedback, delay time, and on Waterfall Echoes mix. That's important. All right. All right, let's watch it. Let's watch it work.
I think it starts way too loud. Maybe not.
There's something happening here. Maybe it's the mix, maybe it's the feedback. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, it's starting way too loud, though, because you can't hear the piano at all the first couple beats.
Let's try again.
Yeah, it already sounds better. It's not kicking in yet. A lot better.
Well, now the feedback isn't quite enough.
You can even go up a little bit more than that.
Yeah, I agree. I think we should also add a reverb to it. Like, there's not enough tail on it. Like, I want it to keep happening after it's done. That's usually a reverb. Maybe we're thinking about this as a reverb and it's really a delay, right? So let's try just the standard reverb here, and we'll find a preset that makes it sound nice and pretty.
You gotta go back.
I don't feel like this is doing anything. Am I wrong? Hold on.
I don't think it's doing what we want it to. It's definitely doing something, because I could hear it changing the sound.
Oh, shit, I was adding that to the Rave Bass Echoes channel. Alright, so this is something I'm still learning how to manage in Bitwig. You can be clicks
So
here.
that's what I was hearing. I was just barely hearing it.
Yeah, so you can click something here and then click something up here and you're still on the last channel, which sucks. I don't like that because in Ableton, if you click the clip, it automatically puts the channels plugins on the bottom. It doesn't do that in Bitwig. So let's try again. Alright, same thing we were just doing. I just will be less of a fool. I like that one.
In a tank. I like Falling Hall.
I like it too.
You can keep going. Whatever. Okay.
Nah, we can mess with them later. I'm gonna turn the mix down a little bit.
Fair enough.
All right, so let's have this keep going now. That's what I was looking for. All right, that's good too. So a reverb can be used also to like kind of absorb some of the harshness. Like, do you hear those little kind of like feedbacks in there that aren't necessarily pretty, but they're kind of cool sounding?
Yeah.
A reverb will help absorb that. Like, what it does is it eats the transient of the noise, like the beginning of the noise, the click of the noise, and just kind of smooths it out a little bit because there's more space for it to propagate, you know, like instead of just being right in your face. So let's see how we're doing in context now. That's nice. Let's automate the mix of that reverb, so it'll go from 30% up to, like, I don't know, something crazy like 65% right at the very end here. And then we can also automate that down like we're doing with everything else. Nice.
I like that. I like that a lot.
I want it to stay louder for longer, so I'm holding Alt and I'm dragging this curve to make it exponential.
Okay.
Okay, I like where this is at. I think something that'll kick this up a notch is if we add like either a tape hiss or a vinyl crackle.
Yes, I agree with that very much so.
Yeah, that. Let's add that in there. So I'll go down here, and next to my bass line, I'll press Control-Shift-T for a new track. I'll immediately relabel this Vinyl Crackle. Now, this is going to start a new section of sounds that I'm going to call effects, and they have a different color for me. So this is always going to be like either a green or a teal color. Let's do yellow, because I kind of like where this is going with this color scheme. I just realized that we haven't put these in red like they should be. There we go. And these also need to be blue. There. Alright, so Vinyl Crackle. Let's get this in here. I'm going to change the warp mode on this to raw if it's not already. Good. And to make sure that this effect kind of keeps going, I'm going to dovetail it. So we'll have it crossfading in and out. Now you can do this on the same channel, but I find you don't get as much control. So I
see why you did this.
I'm adjusting the fade here and there, and here, and there. If does that make sense?
Oh, it does.
All right, cool.
It'll be one continuous sample as opposed to
some more or less. So I'm going to put these into a group. This group is going to be called effects. Whoops. There we go. And I want to put an EQ on these two, so I'm going to put it inside of another group. This one's going to be called the Vinyl Crackle. So I want to put an EQ on both of these channels. So let's grab EQ 5. I basically want to cut all of the lows out. So let's make sure that this sounds like it should. Okay, that's good. Let's decrease the Q so that it's less sudden. We can get more nuance out of that low register. See, it's much cleaner. We got rid of all that like room noise and hiss. Did you hear like the difference?
Yeah, I did.
Good. Here's a tip. If you want to add a bit of oomph to a sample, put it on a plate reverb. So I'm going to put a non Bitwig plugin in here called Little Plate. I don't often tell people to buy plugins, and I'm not telling you to buy this plugin. In fact, I would wait until Black Friday. There's always huge sales on plugins for Black Friday. But this is my favorite plate reverb, and you can buy this plus everything Sound Toys makes usually on sale. It's just awesome. So it's an imitation of a, I believe it was made by Lexicon, unless I'm losing my damn mind. But anyway, this is Sound Toy's little plate. It's great. So we'll add a teeny bit of this. So I'm turning the dry wet down to like nothing. And we'll put it like a little bit bigger. So it's like a huge room, but we're just barely cracking the door to that room. There it is with it. Here's without. Adds a little something, a little bit of echo on the end.
Yeah, a little bit. Makes it feel more spacey.
Right, now if we put like more mix in here, it would sound crazy. I'm going to put it before the EQ so we can get rid of the lows that plugin introduces as well. Good. All right, so here we go. Let's see how our transition's sounding now. It's a good transition. I think we're missing something else here. So basically all of our former ideas are represented pretty well. We have no percussive elements that are coming in here. Like you could argue that the vinyl crackle is a percussive element, but I think what I'm missing is some sort of like a you know like a or like, you know, like we arrived
like a
someplace.
Shaker or some kind of, not even a chassis, you're saying.
Yeah, the sound I want is called an impact. So let's see if we can find a good impact. That's way too fucking, like, glitchy.
I dig it.
I mean,
No, that's it. That's it.
That's it?
Game over.
Alright.
No, don't. Dude, just fucking with you.
I'm gonna do it.
Just a giant fart.
Yeah. There are some things we could potentially do to this sample to make it work. I want to cut all of the, oh, that's EQ plus. No, we are not supposed to do that. We're supposed to use EQ5, according to the comments section. I want to, basically like cut all the highs out of it. So it's just like a low impact, right?
Either that or a thunderclap.
That's a good idea. No, that doesn't work.
Yeah, do they get thunderclap?
All right, let's try thunderclap. That's kind of a cool sound.
Ambient sound, yeah, I like that. It's not thunder.
We're going to pull that in here just so we can use it at some point.
It could almost be used during this.
Yeah.
Like at some point, somehow, under it. Because it's like a good little ambient.
Let's do the same thing we did with the vinyl and we'll dovetail it.
Thunder thing.
I don't know.
I dig it.
All right, so we need an actual thunder. That's cool. What the fuck is this?
This is great.
That's not thunder.
No, but this is. Why do we keep finding so much dubstep shit?
YouTube tutorial. All right, let's try it. Let's go back to impact.
I swear, if there's an impact thunder. That's kind of...
That's more what I was thinking of. We have to tune it, but like that's what I'm thinking of. So see, you hear how it's got like it's got a pitch in there. So let's
It's an arrival.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need to drag out so long either.
No, you're right. Let's figure out what the pitch is. I'm going to pitch it up an octave. So I'm going to put it on Stretch HD. Just so I can figure out what the pitch is. Alright, so now it's a C. So 14 cents up from its fundamental, which means that it's minus 12 is... It's a major second. So if we have to go up 2 semitones to get to C, that means if we go down 2 semitones, it's a B flat. So the fundamental of this is a B flat. That's pretty good. So let's leave it back down and really closer to its fundamental. Of course, the closer you are to the fundamental of a sample, the less crazy it's going to sound when you try to pitch it around.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so let's see how we're doing now. And I'm going to turn it down, and I'm going to apply an EQ to it to get rid of everything above. So it's like, why did we even bother pitching it? Well, it matters. Your ears can tell.
I like that.
Let's see if we can get more sub out of it. Now we could just as easily go back to our main section, right? But I think it doesn't sound right coming back to it. And again, what we're focusing on here in this episode, although we don't really realize we're focusing on it, is we're really focusing on transitions, aren't we? So how do we get from one thing to the next and make it sound correct, make it sound effortless and like it's supposed to happen, right? Because the audience doesn't know our song. We have to show them the song in a way that makes a lot of sense. Like they didn't write the thing, they haven't sat here and fucked with it, right? But we need to make sure that we're not introducing an element where they're like too surprised, right? Sometimes surprise is a good thing, but like for this, since it's like kind of chill out and ambient, like we don't really want to surprise people too much, right? Like you wouldn't just want to throw in like a fucking dubstep wob all of a sudden, right? So let's work on getting a sound that brings us into this a bit more too. So we've got the letdown, like we've got our low impact here to say, excuse me, we're signaling, hey, this is a new section, right? Boom, new section, right? And I think we want to do some other things before we get to that impact, because now it sounds a little jarring. That might lead people to understand that we're heading towards something, right? Let's get another sample, and this one's going to be more like this type of sample is called a riser. Let's see if we can find a good one. That's not a good one. Actually, that's not bad. Let me show you what we're going to do with this. So we're going to take this riser right here. It's sort of quiet, so I'm going to increase the gain by selecting the clip and changing this value down here in the bottom left till I can see it more, filling out the clip window a bit more. And it's just white noise, man, so it's just going hiss, you know? Let's trim the sample a bit better. So I'm going to bring this to the edge right there, and I'm going to cut it off like back here where I can sort of see, using my eyes, just trying to figure out where the end of the sound is. Then I'll fade it a bit. And I might even trim the sample a bit further by zooming in here and really bringing the playhead. Again, if we zoom in on the top, you can see what I'm doing in real time. Is I'm trying to figure out where the beginning of the sample is and making sure that the clip there. You see how it's kissing the side of the clip now?
I get that.
That makes sense? So I want when the playhead passes it, right? When this little line passes it, I want it to sound and make noise immediately. All right. Cool. All right, so I told you this was a good sound, and I mean it. But what we're going to need to do to this, because right now it actually is more like an impact, right? Doesn't it look similar to this impact, right? The way the waveform looks. So it's happening and then it's dissipating. You know what I mean? What a riser should do, or the word I'm using for riser is it should lead into something, which is the opposite of this. Now, there's a key command we can use in Bitwig to reverse samples. So what I'm going to do first, though, is bounce this to audio. And if you don't remember how to do that, it's Control-Shift-B. And then you say, we're going to do dither, post-fader. Give me a second. I pressed the wrong button. It is select here and then Shift-B. That's right, Shift-B. Post-fader, dither, yes. That'll create a new track with the noise, right? So let's delete this so we don't confuse ourselves. So here's our noise again. Let's click the clip and press R, and it'll reverse it. Isn't that sick? So now instead of going, it'll go like that. Okay, and hopefully that'll hopefully that'll lead into our section better. So let's listen to it together now.
Yes.
Right. So we're getting there. Like we're introducing things a bit better now. It's a bit harsh. Like they used some real resonant like sweep on the filter. So I'm gonna take that out by putting a low pass here on the top of the noise. Just trying to get rid of that really harsh kind of like resonant filter thing on top. Yeah, that does it. Let's get another sound. So that works, and I feel like that can be our like final noise. But let's get one that starts even earlier, because that's the very end here. So it's like we're still not introducing the idea that we're going to change the sound soon enough, right? Let's find another one. Nope. Nope. They're too busy. More simple. Nope, that's too dubstep. Nope. 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 That's like we're going into a drop. I'm gonna tell you right now, none of the cymatics risers are gonna work. Those are way too high energy. Yeah. Deets beats. That's pretty cool. too busy. Too dubstep. Let's listen to Stin. You know what? I feel like that might actually work, because we're kind of we're sort of shooting for Tipper. So let's put that funny ping pong delay in here just as a thought, you know, something we can use. All right, let's get another one.
Ping pong.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. That's better. So Champagne Drip does some chill ass fucking wubby stuff, so that makes sense that this works. So let's start introducing it here, and then all we need to do, since he's already got it correct, like we don't have to reverse this clip. We're gonna cut it here, and delete that part. So it'll just go, and then stop suddenly, right? With this little Stin riser, the little ping pong guy. Let's put that up here, and then we'll do the same thing using our selection tool. We'll just clip it right there so it stops suddenly. And a little bit of mixing. I don't think we need much on the Stin riser. The ping pong guy is going to be... We'll be able to hear that. It's kind of unique. But let's see how this sounds. Yeah, it works. That works. That way,
I like it.
Yeah, that way we're like not surprised when it happens. So now we can do similar things here. Now that we've created this, like we could bring this over here, right? Control C, Control V, and we could maybe just
had as an outro.
Yeah, or we could. I mean, we could even like delete some of this stuff, right? So we can take this out and just use the Champagne Drip, and then it'll lead us back into our beginning section.
You can reverse that.
Check it out. Yeah, check this out. Isn't that neat? So we've got...
I did dig that.
Yeah, we spent some time here getting our transitions right, and we can reuse them later. So, I'm not sure if we're going to head back into this section, or if we're going to go into something new here. I think we need to make an informed decision about like what we want this track to do, like what's our intention. So if we want to do like something a bit more like chilled out and like kind of the lounge vibe we got going right here, then what we should do is head back into the first section, but add something to it, like a melody, like a piano melody or a guitar melody or something. However, if we want to do something like what Tipper would do, then we need to strip it back further and have like just some sort of like a thuddy kind of like 808 thing going and play around with some rhythm and have like a bare bones like melody on top of that or something.
But I think so. Yes, that's what I was thinking we need to do.
Okay, that's
It
what we'll do.
needs to strip back down to something more bare bones, something a little bit more wonk.
All right. Well, let's do that next time. Let's not get into that right now.
Cool.
We're almost at 9 p.m. Let's call it a night, and next session we'll jump in there, and that'll be our goal. So this time we spent a lot of time talking about transitions and what we were talking about without realizing it was form. So I kind of subscribe to the philosophy that form is basically everything, and every small change that you make is actually like a smaller change to the form. Well, everybody, thanks for tuning in. For I believe now this is our 3rd or 4th episode of this series, which is awesome. Appreciate y'all joining us. And Sean, I hope you feel better. And I'll be talking to you soon. And we'll get up next week and make this thing trippy. How about that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, buddy. Peace.